Hey, what's happening guys? This is Shukesh. Today I'm gonna do a very in-depth camera comparison in between this Motorola Moto G5 Plus in the middle, the Motorola Moto M on my right and the Redmi Note 4 on my left. In this video, I'm gonna discuss about the image and the video quality of the front as well as the rear cameras of these devices, both outdoor and indoor. I will also discuss about autofocusing, noise and color handling. As you know, Moto G5 Plus sports a 12 megapixel rear camera with dual autofocus pixels and the maximum aperture is f1.7, which is the best in class. On the other hand, the Redmi Note 4 houses a 13 megapixel camera with f2.0 maximum aperture and face detection autofocus system. Moto M boasts of the biggest resolution 16 megapixel with f2.0 aperture and face detection autofocus. The maximum video recording resolution of Moto M and Redmi Note 4 is 1080p at 30 fps, whereas you can record Ultra HD videos at 30 fps and 1080p videos at up to 60 fps on the Moto G5 Plus. The front camera is a 5 megapixel with f2.2 and the video recording is up to 1080p at 30 fps. You also get a similar 5 megapixel camera at the front of Redmi Note 4 with 1080p recording, but the maximum aperture is f2.0, which is considerably better than the G5 Plus. Once again, Moto M beats the other two in resolution. You have an 8 megapixel front camera with 1080p recording, but I'm not quite sure about the F number. Now let me quickly show you the camera interfaces and the features, then I will talk about the camera quality. On the Motorola Moto G5 Plus, you can switch in between photos, videos and other modes like slow motion videos at 120 fps 720p resolution. There is a professional mode as well if you want to manually control. On the front camera, you also get beauty face mode to airbrush your faces. There is also display flash enabled. You get slow motion as well as professional mode on the front camera as well. On the other hand, Redmi Note 4 also packs some very handy modes like beauty, manual, night mode, timer, panorama and also scene mode. You can also apply some filters. Just like the other two, Motorola Moto M also packs some modes like night mode, pro mode, effects, panorama and the front camera has the beauty face option right at the bottom left corner. There are a few more options you can check from this settings icon. Let me also quickly show you the front camera interface of Redmi Note 4, which also features some different modes and the beauty option at the top right corner. Now let me compare some camera samples. These samples are captured at around 4:15 PM here in Kolkata, so the lighting condition was excellent, not too bright, not too dark, to get the best out of these cameras, and I'm just blown away by the quality of these smartphone cameras. Now let's have a closer look at the images. You have the G5 Plus in the middle, Redmi Note 4 at the left and the Moto M at the right portion of the display. Now this video is in 4K, so I suggest you to watch at least this part in full resolution. As you can see, Moto G5 Plus captures more vivid colors, and if you look at the bokeh, that is the background blur, Moto G5 Plus captures more beautiful, more blurry background thanks to the f1.7 aperture. It gives you a DSLR-like professional look and the images sharpness are, I think, very close. Moto M is really very sharp. Other two devices are not bad at all. Let me show you a few more images I have captured. As I just mentioned, Moto G5 Plus captures really vivid colors. Moto M is also very close. Redmi Note 4 is also excellent, but the color recording is not as vivid as the Motorola devices. But of course, these three cameras are really very close, and due to shallow depth of field, the other parts of the image is slightly blurry, which is of course not an issue. Let's move to the next image. I love this one. You can clearly see how vivid is the color recording of the G5 Plus. But it's worth mentioning the image sharpness of the Redmi Note 4 is excellent, but what's most interesting is the dynamic range of the Moto M. It's not overexposed like the other two, and the dark areas, the shadow areas are more detailed. Now these images are captured from a distance, so no background blur or bokeh. As expected, you have more saturated colors on the G5 Plus's sample. Due to oversaturation, the details of the flowers are not that much clear on the G5 Plus sample, and the dynamic range is also visibly better on the Moto M and the Redmi Note 4. There we have another sample, and you can pause here and compare these images. There you have the flower image I have shown you, and indeed the image captured by the Moto G5 Plus is more beautiful, more pleasant to look at. If you ask me, I will definitely choose the Moto G5 Plus over Redmi Note 4 and Moto M. There is another sample here, you can pause and compare. It's really hard to tell which one is better, but still I think the G5 Plus sample looks slightly brighter and more detailed. Hey guys, this is a video comparison in between the Moto G5 Plus, Moto M and the Redmi Note 4. Hey guys, this is a video comparison in between the Moto G5 Plus, Moto M and the Redmi Note 4. Hey guys, this is a video comparison in between the Moto G5 Plus, Moto M and the Redmi Note 4. Well, this is the rear camera video sample, and once again Moto G5 Plus records in 4K. It's been downscaled to fit the screen. Now you are watching the video side by side, so I think you should judge. I feel that Redmi Note 4 captures brighter images, but the images are over sharpened and there is absolutely no bokeh, looks like it's a fixed focus camera. The video captured by G5 Plus is more natural with good amount of bokeh, but it's not as detailed and as bright as the Redmi Note 4. The dynamic range is also not that good, you have overexposed images. Moto M, as you can see, outshines the other two devices in this department. But in certain situations, Moto M's color recording is really messed up. At the start of this sample, you must have also noticed the amount of background noise that has been recorded by the Moto G5 Plus, which is a big issue. Now let me show you some indoor rear camera samples. You have G5 Plus in the middle, Redmi Note 4 at the left and Moto M at the right. Just like outdoor, Motorola smartphones capture more vivid colors. Moto G5 Plus's color recording is more punchy and very close to the original subject. As you can see, Redmi Note 4 sample is kind of faded and the details are not that good. Moto M, on the other hand, is actually better than that the Redmi Note 4. The color recording, the sharpness of the images are better. So from this image, I will say Moto G5 Plus is the best one, followed by Moto M and the Redmi Note 4 as far as low light imaging is concerned. And let me actually show you a few more samples. From this image also, we can clearly say Moto G5 Plus captures really great quality images under poor lighting condition thanks to f1.7 aperture, which is, so far I know, the biggest aperture you will find on a smartphone camera. This image clearly shows how good is the Moto G5 Plus. In fact, Moto M is also quite impressive. There you have another low light sample and you can tell which one is looking better. Let me show you the noise in the shadowed area, and clearly G5 Plus has the best noise handling capability, followed by Moto M and the Redmi Note 4. There is another sample, you can pause here and compare. Let me show you a close-up photo in low light, and once again Moto G5 Plus captures sharper images. The dual autofocus pixels of G5 Plus is quite fast and accurate. The face detection autofocus of Moto M and Redmi Note 4 are also quite good, almost as fast as Moto G5 Plus, but the sharpness, the details of the images are slightly inferior. This is the last sample I have for you today, and definitely Moto M and Moto G5 Plus are quite good. Redmi Note 4 is somewhat noisy. Let me actually zoom into this plug here and you can tell the difference. No need to say, Moto M is really very impressive. G5 Plus is quite good, but the Redmi Note 4 sample is really very noisy. Now this is the indoor rear camera sample in low lighting condition, and there is a very serious issue I want to talk about. It's basically a known issue of Motorola devices. Under poor lighting condition, the frame rate of the videos drastically falls. I mean, the video recorded by G5 Plus here is of just 18 FPS. That's why it's not smooth, and I've tried a number of times. Sometimes it's 22 FPS, sometimes 20 FPS. Moto M currently is at 25 FPS. I got 27 maximum, whereas Redmi Note 4 is at perfect 30 FPS. That's why it's looking very smooth without any shutter. The color recording by Redmi Note 4 and even Moto M are better than that the G5 Plus. So in poor lighting condition, Moto G5 Plus's video recording capability is crippled. Now the good news is I am facing this issue only when I am recording in 4K in 1080p. Moto G5 Plus is as smooth as the Redmi Note 4. But again, when you have 4K recording option, why would you have to downgrade to 1080p? I hope that Motorola will fix this issue with an OTA update. So I am really disappointed with the G5 Plus here. Now it's time for the front camera. Well, this video is getting really very long, but I hope that you are liking my effort. Now the front camera of the Moto G5 Plus is, I think, the weakest part of the smartphone. Motorola got everything right, but the front camera quality is somewhat disappointing, I will say, considering you have an excellent rear camera. The minimum focusing distance is also longer than other devices, that's why it's kind of blurry. I'm not saying it's the worst camera, it's actually quite good as other devices, but the color recording, the sharpness, the details of the images are not as per a device at this price point. For instance, the flowers here are looking really faded and not as sharp as Moto M and Redmi Note 4. In fact, Moto M captures more accurate colors, but Redmi Note 4 has better sharpness and clarity. Now apart from the flower, the color of the leaves and the sharpness, the clarity are very close, but still Redmi Note 4 wins this test. Now this image has direct sunlight and it's really hard to tell which image is the best, but still I think Redmi Note 4 is more detailed. There you have another image. You can pause here and compare yourself. Now we are indoor and you can easily notice the quality difference you have in between these images here. Moto M and Redmi Note 4 captures more detailed and more colorful images, but of course not that good. All these three images here are really faded and G5 Plus is the worst, I think. Moto M captures slightly better images. Redmi Note 4 is the best, but again the difference is not that much. If you ask me, I will rate Redmi Note 4 6 out of 10, Moto M 5.5 and Moto G5 Plus 5 out of 10. You are watching the samples, so you decide which camera is better. I personally feel Redmi Note 4 offers the best image quality from the front camera. Before I conclude this video, let me show you a few more samples. Well, in this image you can clearly see the amount of noise you have on the Redmi Note 4 sample, so the noise handling of this phone is not as good as the Motorola devices here. In this sample also there is too much noise. Now there is a very important fact I want to share with you guys. Redmi Note 4's front camera is not wide enough. You can barely fit two people in a group selfie, whereas Moto G5 Plus is actually wider. You can even fit 3 people, but the Moto M's front camera is crazy wide. You can fit 4 people at a time. Well guys, we are at the end of this very in-depth camera comparison, and I hope that you have found this video very useful. If so, then do subscribe to this channel. I have a lot more interesting videos coming up on this Moto G5 Plus. I have already done a battery charging and discharging speed test. I have also uploaded some tips and tricks. If you really like my review style, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and keep in touch. This is Shukesh signing off. Have a nice day guys.